The Audre Lorde Founders Award. So this is something that me and Corey came up with about 4 years ago. So the HBGC's Audre Lorde Founders Award was created to honor an up-and-coming leader of color who embodies the mission of HBGC, inspiring and empowering other people of color by taking initiatives to create lasting change for the LGBT communities of color. Tiq Milan, the senior media strategist of national news at GLAAD, AA GLAAD, who's a sponsor. We got both GLAAD as sponsors, but he works for AA GLAAD. Before joining GLAAD, Tiq was a mentor and a teacher at the Tiq Milan Institute, an LGBTQ service organization in New York City, who I had the pleasure to volunteer for in 2011, where I met Tiq Milan. It was a great time. He does a great job with the young folks. So I was really impressed. So this year, when we decided to award Tiq, I was like, it was a no-brainer. So I called his wife up and I said, I would be honored if you would present with me. This would be a special moment for Tiq, my brother.
My name is Tiq Milan. And I want to speak from a sort of a personal place. My husband is a man of his own design, and that is not a secret at all. He talks so much about that. He's so open and transparent about his journey and his work and the ways that he's been able to get to this place in his career. And he really centers his work on supporting the lives of other people. He makes so much space for me to be so femme in the way that he embodies his masculinity. He so consistently supports trans women communities. So much of his work really centrally surrounds advocacy around trans women. He never ever wants to take up the space that's due to him. He would much rather spend all of his time fighting for the love and the support and the freedom of everyone around him. And when this past year, I saw him with his mom and his mother passed this year, and I just watched the way that he loved her, and the way that he loves the women in his lives, and the way that he centralizes his masculinity in a way that loves femininity, and affirms and values femininity. He's spoken on CNN, he's spoken on Huffington Post Live, he writes for Ebony, he writes for BET, he's written for Rolling Stone, he's interviewed Lil Wayne, he's interviewed Cicely Tyson, he's that man, He's that guy. And he's absolutely my hero, the most important man in my entire life. I have never met anyone else who has inspired me greater, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to love him the way that he loves me.
Tiq Milan. Somebody loves me. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I'm so humbled and honored for this award. When I first started my career, I started out as a journalist. I was writing for, I feel like hip-hop journalism, so I was writing for a bunch of online magazines and writing for Vibe, Source, and things like that. And this was pre-transition, so it became increasingly hard for me to be in these spaces as an androgynous person, as a gender non-conforming person. So I stepped away from that and started doing media advocacy and LGBT advocacy. And what happened was the LGBT community really gave me the space and the safe space to transition. And I just really fell in love with the work. I fell in love with the young people I was working with. I fell in love with all of the people that I was working with. So many trans people, so many LGBT people who were working for little or no pay at all. You know, people who were working in organizations and outside organizations. People who are really focused on intersecting issues. You know, like a dear friend Ann here who has worked tirelessly for the LGBT community. You know, particularly around the intersections of the Latino community and immigration. It's been such an amazing journey. And you know, and when I do this work, you know, a lot of people talk about doing the work and being visible, and that's great, right? We need to be visible, we need to do the work, but it has to be more than that. It's more than just being visible. It's more than just being seen. We also have to make space. And when I came out trans and I transitioned, and the LGBT community made space for me, right? And a part of this, and now walking in the world as a man, I realized my privilege. And I use that privilege to make sure that I make space for other people, and I make sure that I hold privileged people accountable to, you know, to their privilege. You know, my wife was asking me earlier. She asked me. She said, you know, what's like the most important thing that I've done, and what means the most to me in the work? And I was like, wow, you know, it's all meant so much, but you know. One of the things I'm proudest of is being able to talk to all of us, but also talk outside of the community, right? Because one thing to talk to allies, people in the LGBT community, but also creating these steps towards recognition and understanding outside of this community is so important. It's important for us because this is how we live. We talk about our families, and we talk about our neighbors, and our neighborhoods, and our friends, and our colleagues. It's so important that we reach across the aisle and make sure that people understand us. And you know, my mother died in June. My mother died of cancer, and you know, she was on her deathbed. You know, she was hallucinating, and she was all drugged up and all these things, and she messed up her pronoun. She said she, and she corrected it. And my mother hadn't spoke in like 2 days, right? But when she saw me, she said something in she, and then she said he, and that was like one of the last words I ever heard from her, right? But the thing is that that moment meant so much to me because it made me understand and it really reaffirmed to me that, you know, as people of color, we are not that stereotype. We're not less aggressive. We're not less tolerant, right? My mother absolutely was very, as her son. I have my family's support, and I understand that not all of us have that, and that's unfortunate. But I want us to understand that a lot of us do, and it's important that we continue to have these conversations with our family and our friends, and also have these conversations within these organizations. You know, I work at CLAD. A lot of us are involved in organizations, but there are also a lot of people that are outside organizations that are doing really amazing work. Individuals that are doing amazing work. Individuals that are taking the lead for these organizations. Right? People didn't know, they didn't know anything. The T has always just been, until recently, until those individuals who came out and made sure that we were visible and talked about the intersectional issues, talked about the things that were oppressing us, right? You know, intersectionality is just starting up. It's just a buzzword right now for these organizations with folks like Bambi and so many other people that I know have been doing this work for so many years. So, you know, I challenge all the organizations that are here in Roots Day to challenge yourselves and have the harder conversations and step outside of our usual boxes and start talking about these intersecting issues and start looking at the most vulnerable people in our population. And to everybody here, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, thank you, and enjoy your night. Thank you so much.